Oh, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, and I'm going over something that's really hyping right now. It's been highly requested. Like, dude, oh my gosh, everybody's asking me, 3 Stacks, can we please see the true King Draco or the true Draco or the true King 6 Sams? Everybody's like, Diagram plus Fuma too strong. Like, everybody's talking about this deck, and I actually looked on YouTube first. And I was like, why is everybody asking for this deck so much? And then I see that there are no builds up. I saw stuff from 4 months ago, and they're all online builds. There's no real life, actual cards. It's all Yugioh Pro and different stuff on people's computers. I don't like those kind of deck profiles. I've never done those, and I never will. So I want to bring you guys something fresh, original, and in real life, of course. So, oh, hey, baby, what's wrong? So yeah, because so many people have been requesting this, and also because I don't see a build up on YouTube, I wanted to be the first to put one up. I'm not the first to do this, of course. This has already been attempted. Whoever thought of this was just a genius. I definitely give all credit to whoever thought of the synergy that this deck has with True Kings, or just Diagram period. But yeah, it's really insane. I actually learned a couple combos just doing test hands with this deck. And I realized Fuma is really what makes the deck so powerful, with how it synergizes with the True Kings, and get your combos popping, where you can basically make a first turn Calamities, and if you get it right, you can have double Shein, which is really dope. And your Link monster, from my Link monster choice, was actually the Mrs. Radiant. But there's ways where you could just go first turn Calamity. You can still do your Link plays like really consistently. Really consistently. I like how the deck flows. It's just really powerful. In fact, it's overwhelming at times. We're gonna hop right into my deck list. There are a couple cards and choices that you might not find to be standard. Just because I like to build my decks the way I like them, and not the way that they're actually being played by other people. That's why I'd say it's not standard. Because in technical terms, there's a standard list for everything. Starting off with monsters, I only have 2 Fumas. I only picked up 2. From all the pulls and the boxes that I got, there's like 3 Fumas I had. I gave 1 to Ed. And now I'm kind of mad that I even gave it to Ed, because I wish I had my 3 Fumas right now. But you should play 3 Fumas for this list. Opening up with him is really nutty. If you have him in a True King or your Diagram or a Terraforming, you've got like some mad consistent combos without ever using your normal summon yet, which is really dope. So you should play 3 Fumas in your list. I only have 2, so I'm just showcasing the 2. Imagine as a third one being there. So these are the 3 ofs. Next up, you play 3 Kaigeki. Kaigeki also is another combo enabler. He's one of the reasons why you can make your board so fat and juicy. Oh my gosh, it's just so savage. And then me personally, I play 3 Kizan. Kizan is not an attribute that True Kings can pop, but you still need Kizan because he allows you to get field presence without normal summoning. So he can be your Link, he could be your Link summon extender. He can also be the 4 that you sync with 5. It's just really dope. Sync with 4/5, or then you can also just use Gemba in a level 3 to still make your Shein. So I personally play 3 Kizan. He's one of the most savage 6Ms ever, and he's also part of your gateway loops. So you really need to play 3. And then I played 2 copies of Kizaru. I really wanted to play 3. I actually played 3 in my pure 6 Samurai without the Dragonic Diagram or anything like that. And he's really mad consistent. He's not a hard once per turn. That's why I like him a lot. If you guys have seen the combo video that I did on this deck with the infinite gateway loop for summoning Firewall 5 times, Tri-Gate Wizard, Bagooska, Proxy, Kizaru, Kizan, and Hatsumi were the reason why those combos are possible. Speaking of Hatsumi, I personally play 2 copies of Hatsumi. I love her at 3 in my my pure build, in my pure list. I actually was thinking about playing 3 for her just because she's a water attribute for Barastos, which actually comes up a lot. Just having a water so that you can resolve Barastos, popping like, for example, your Fuma in her, or popping your True Draco Phoenix Mariamne in her, and just getting your combo off that way. But still, for this list, I'm just playing 2 of her. Every level 3 or lower 6 Samurai, you play actually 4 extra copies of it in the form of 3 Shein, Smoke Signal, and 1 Rhoda. So even though you play 2 of her, you have a lot more ways to see her. And then for the 1-ofs, I play 1 Mizoho and 1 Hand, and also 1 Ginba. I chose these as my 1-ofs. The reason why I like Hand and Mizoho is because the way I use my asceticism in this deck, I chose the 1600 6 Samurais as my asceticism targets. So these are what you're bringing out with your asceticism, either Hatsumi, Mizoho, or even Hand of the 6 Samurai. And that's how you're going to be doing asceticism in this deck. There are different ways. If you play, like, for example, 1700 6 Samurais, Kaigeki becomes a 1700 6 Samurai on field if you have another 6. So you can asceticism him. It just depends. The different 6 Samurai monsters that you play in your list are going to determine how your asceticism works. But I chose 1600 Samurais for mine because they actually have the best effects In my opinion, these out cards, that problematic monsters in any cards, and Hatsumi is like a 1-card play. She's really dope. And I literally play Gimba just because he's A, fire target for Agni Mazood, and B, he's a level 2 tuner, which is very important. So we play a very, very low 6 Samurai monster count. And then continuing on, we're going to move forward to the True King aspect of this deck. I played personally 3 copies of Mariamne, the True Draco Phoenix, because she is live more than any other True King in this deck, because you play, in technical terms, 8 win monsters. It should be 9 because you have the 3 Fuma, the 3 Kaigeki, and the 3 of hers. So she's always live. Like, she's really, really savage too. Opening with her in Diagram is insane. Then we also played 3 copies of True King Barastos the Fathomer, my second favorite True King. He's just really, really dope, man. I'm telling you, like, he's a monster for real. Like, this card is just savage. Oh my gosh. And there's even better combos with him in this deck. Spamming off of him and Fuma. If you have Mariamne, him, and Fuma, dude, you get so much field presence without even using your normal summon. It's crazy. It's just amazingly strong. Oh my gosh. And then I play 1 copy of Agni Mazood, and this may catch some people by surprise. I also teched in 1 copy of Masterpiece for my list. Because I saw so much synergy with Gateway, and also with the 6 Samurai United. I was like, you know, we're playing quite a bit of continuous spells and traps. Let's go ahead and tech in a Masterpiece, because this list was already playing Apocalypse in Return without Masterpiece, just so I can special summon my True Kings and have, you know, a recovery play or a follow-up play for the next turn, and an Apocalypse for the damage step effect, and also popping True Kings on the field to finish my combo on my opponent's turn, which is really dope. So I was like, Masterpiece makes a lot of sense. So I play 1 copy of Masterpiece as well. And the Masterpiece Calamities and Shein field is possible if you're able to resolve MX Saber Invoker for your combo to make your Missus Radiant. You're going to make a very, very powerful field of Calamities, Masterpiece, and Shein, which is really strong. No monsters, a Speller Trap Negator, and Masterpiece is icing on the cake. For spells, we play the obligatory 3 copies of Dragonic Diagram. You want to see this as much as possible, enabling your combos with your Fuma, and if not, you're going to be doing some other shenanigans as well. Then we play 3 copies of Terraforming. For more consistency, we also play 3 copies of Shein's Smoke Signal. To increase the ceiling of this deck, we also play the Rhoda, which acts as a 4th extender, or even a 4th copy or a 3rd copy of your 2 ofs, a 4th copy of your 3 ofs, or just 4 Shein Smoke Signal, which is what you can look at it as. And then I also play 3 copies of Asceticism. I want to see this card as much as possible. When you open up with not Hatsumi, you can Asceticism your Mizoho, and then special summon Hatsumi, Asceticism Hatsumi, special summon your hand. And if you have a 3rd Asceticism, you can Asceticism your hand and bring out another copy of Hatsumi. So it's really, really dope, and I feel like they have the best effects. And they also allow you to break boards, and Hatsumi is literally the 1-card play that this deck really needed. And I personally play 2 copies of Secret Skills of the 6 Samurai. I don't really like it at 3. It is a hard one to return. And drawing it in your opening hand, you're not even always going to be able to successfully resolve it. There are some games when I have this in hand and it's just sitting there and I'm like, I need to banish the 6 Sam just to use this. It's not always going to be good in this list, but it is very, very necessary, because at times it'll be one of the best cards in your hand. And that's no lie. It really will be one of the best cards in your hand at certain times. So it was still necessary to play at least 2 in this particular list. And next up, for the draw power of this deck, I only play the 6 Samurai United for draw power. That's the only draw spells that I chose to play. I didn't want to play Desires. There are too many important one-ofs. There's actually too much important cards that I couldn't afford to banish, period. So I don't want to play a gamble with Desires. You can play Desires in your list. I'm not telling you not to. But for the playstyle I'm going with this deck, there are so many important one-ofs, especially your one of Apocalypse, your one of Return, your one of Disciples, your one of Gateway. You don't want to lose any of those. You don't want to lose your one of Masterpiece, your one of Agni Mazood, as you saw I play 1. You don't want to lose, like, for example, both copies of Hatsume. You don't want to lose one of your or both of your Asceticism targets, because then Asceticism's dead. So many good reasons for not playing Pot of Desire. So I'm playing 6 Samurai United to still be able to draw 2 cards, which is very important. Sacking it off, draw 2. Later in the duel, it's going to be Masterpiece food. And of course, the one Gateway, the card that really, really needs to come back to 3. And you guys will see me pulling off even more shenanigans with this card alone. It's just really savage. I definitely want you guys, after you're done watching this deck profile, please look up. I nicknamed the title of the video Team Samurai X1 should watch this. And it is an insane degenerate loop with Gateway that's now possible because we have A, Link monsters, B, Hatsumi, C, Kizaru, D, Kizan, and also MX Saber Invoker is, you know, enabling the combo as well. So it wasn't able to be done in the past, but now that 6Ams, the new support came out, the new Gateway loop that I came up with myself, I promise I never got it from anybody. I give credit where it's due. It's better than any Gateway loop you'll ever see, and I guarantee that. And then we play one copy of Disciple, the Draco Phoenix. Heritage does not come up enough because you're actually playing the True King variant, and Heritage will mostly just get you a draw 1. And that's if you pop True Kings from the field, and most of the time you're going to be popping them from your hand. So Disciples came up the most for me. Recycling your Calamities, recycling your 1-up Agni Mazud. If you burn through your Mariames or your Barastos or your Masterpiece, and if you're like, ooh, I got a diagram to search, but I need True Kings returned back into my deck, return it back, then search it again. And for the only 2 traps I play, 1 Apocalypse and 1 Return. As you've noticed, there are no Solemn Strikes, there's no Evenly Matched, there's no hand traps in this deck. I wanted to do it a little different. Now you can play hand traps. You know that I have every hand trap under the sun, and I have Solemn Strikes, I have Evenly Matches, I have all those cards. Those are actually ran in my pure 6 Samurai list without the True Kings. When you play this deck with the evenly match the strikes and the hand traps, they are good cards, but they have no synergy for the combos. And because this deck is so combo oriented, you don't want to draw cards that get in your way, if that makes sense. What I mean by get in your way is they have no further purpose aside from what they do by themselves. I wanted every single card in this deck to have multiple purposes, to be live all the time. Like, I guess you could say Ash and Droll or Fire and the Wind targets, but why would you sacrifice your hand trap to summon a True King? That doesn't make sense. So there's no good reason for playing them in this list. I am not telling you don't run hand traps. I'm just saying that I don't run hand traps personally. And that is going to sum up the main deck. Now we're going to move forward to the extra deck, which is actually going to be player preference. This is how I'm rocking my extra deck. Put that with the X-Seeds. So I personally played 2 copies of Rion because he has came up multiple times. Summoning 1 is great, but just because he comes up so much, I actually chose to play 2. You can play 1 of him in your list, but 1 card you should definitely play at least 2 of is Xian. Because one of the combos enables you to summon Xian twice, which is really awesome. And Xian's effect on the field, which says that if this card will be destroyed, you can destroy another 6 Samurai you control. You can extend your plays by destroying Fuma instead. If you control Fuma, you can do so. If you don't control Fuma, that's fine. You just pop anything else. You can pop a secret 6 Samurai like Hatsumi, put it in graveyard, and protect him for a second time, which is really dope. But double Xian is definitely at least 2. He is mandatory for sudden combos where you can actually summon 2, like I said. So I just chose 2 and 2. You can do 1 and 1. You can play your deck however you want. Honestly, if you took the time and effort to pick these cards up with your hard-earned money that you spent from your wallet, who am I to tell you how to play your deck? It's your deck. It belongs to you. For XYZs, I play 1 Calamities, 1 Phantom Fortress Inner Blackener. I play the Utopia package. I play Baguska, Tornado Dragon, and Dweller, the best rank 4s of the day, of the game. And then I also play for the 1 rank 3 that comes up the most is MX Saber Invoker. Breaksword comes up occasionally, but this deck's so combo oriented that I chose one of the best combo enablers as my 1 rank 3. If you want to play more rank 3s, you can cut any of these rank 4s, but these come up a lot more than a Breaksword would, or then, you know, a Levier would come up occasionally because you do banish sometimes. But I felt like Dweller is for specific matchups like the Burning Abyss matchup, the True Draco matchup, the ABC matchup. There's so many different decks that this rapes. Tornado Dragon is way too staple to not have access to him. Baguska rapes almost every deck. Utopia the Lightning comes up so much, it's crazy. Like, you just need him. You really need Utopia the Lightning, even for your game pushes. If you're playing under time, and it's like, I need a push for a certain amount of damage, Utopia the Lightning will get you the damage you need. So I would never cut any of these for another rank 3. So I chose 1 rank 3 and then this MX Saber Invoker, and you summon him literally to be able to make your Missus Radiant. After you special summon Kizaru and search off of Kizaru, you'll make your Missus, and that is how you're going to be able to drop Calamities and Xian. Granted, the combo will end you with only 1 card left in your hand. With that board, you should not lose, and also that's one of the best boards you can make in this deck, so it's worth the resources that it costed. But the only 3 links that I play from my extra deck are actually Decode, Binary, and also Missus Radiant. I chose Binary over Proxy Dragon and Ib because it has different effects that actually come up for me. Gaining life points is relevant. The effect to add the attack to one of the monsters when you target 2, one gains the other. It's really, really dope how you can do that even in damage step because it's an attack modulator. It helps you to beat over problematic monsters. It also helps you to, like, for example, if you're trying to beat over something that Masterpiece can't attack over, you can't use this effect on Masterpiece because you're not affected by all monsters. You can use another monster to attack over that monster that Masterpiece could not attack over, pop something else that was there, and just poke for 3250 direct. So it comes up so much that I chose Binary over Proxy. So as you see, the extra deck is totally player preference. There's a lot of choices I could have made, but this is what I'm choosing to run at the time being. Just for the moment. The deck is going to go through a lot of modifications and changes based on player preference, as I stated previously. If you're playing this deck, I love you, baby. If you're playing this deck, I recommend just play it how you want to play it. I really don't recommend that you net deck anybody, but if you're gonna net deck, I'm not even gonna tripping. Like, I'm not tripping at all. But I do recommend that you find a way to play the deck with your own, with your own strategy, your own play style. Like, honestly, the way I see it in Yu-Gi-Oh, when you're building a deck, you should not build your deck to be like other people's decks. You should build your deck according to the way you play. If you're a very aggressive player, this is probably a perfect play style for you. If you're more of a conservative, I want to play control and I don't want to waste too much resources, but I don't want my opponent to go off, you can play a lot more traps like Solemn Strike, Solemn Warning. You can play Mirror Forces. You can play cards like even Phoenix Chain can come up. You can play reactive cards like Cosmic Cyclone, Twin Twisters. You can play every hand trap in the book. So like I said, you really want to build this deck according to how your playstyle fits. But yeah, again, if you don't take anything else out of this video, take what I said last. And also keep in mind that this deck is still under construction. There's still certain cards that I'm trying to find room for that I just can't find room for them. And these are 6-cam cards that could not make the cut. Double-Edged Sword Technique couldn't make it. Hatsumi could have. Doji doesn't make sense at all to play in this list. The third Kizaru, the Grandmaster for the Gateway Shenanigans. There's a lot of cards I could have played, and I recommend just try different ratios out for yourself. The one that you find the most success with, that's what you should run with. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and sign out. God bless you guys. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Do know that I love you. I love every single one of you who are subscribed to this channel, even if you're not subscribed to this channel, because you are my brothers and sisters in Christ. And I do believe in firmly in wishing you guys the best before you leave, before you stop watching this video. You never know what could happen to you outside of this. So I wish you guys the best. I hope you found this to be informational and or educational. In addition to that, I've never actually asked this before, but if you really do like my content and you feel like this guy needs to get somewhere in life, I definitely recommend just asking you this one thing. You can actually support me on Patreon if you choose to. I never really ask for stuff like this because A, I don't like looking thirsty, because I really am not like struggling to a point where I need a beg. And B, nonetheless, whether people support me financially or not for this channel, I'm still going to continue making content. I'm still going to do what I love. I'm still going to support you guys the best way I can. I'm still going to bring you the spiciest deck profiles I possibly can. This all comes out of my pocket, and that's the reason why I ask, because sometimes this does conflict with my personal financial responsibilities. And aside from that, I'm just going to go ahead and stop this video. Stay tuned for an update on the pure 6 Samurai build, because I wanted to do this one first because it was a lot more popular. But anyways, y'all go ahead and have a wonderful day, and I hope that you can check out our older content. And also, please subscribe to the channel if you have not before, because you might actually find some of this to be really, really inspirational. I love y'all, and y'all be safe.